Lamelo Ball wanted Brandon Miller the whole time over Scoot Henderson. But somebody ain't LeVar, but they told you so. Today in the LitHoUsE. Share this video, like this video, subscribe. We bike. When I went up top, they took me down to Alabama, over to Texas. Third coast shit, baby. Yeah, bitch a ball, never fall. Yeah, bitch a ball, never fall. Yesterday, they aired the brand new episode of Paul George's podcast, P's podcast. And he had a special guest on there, and Brandon Miller, man. And this is an interview that a lot of people have been waiting on. Like, ever since Brandon Miller made a statement that Paul George was his GOAT, and, you know, the world went crazy, and a bunch of grown men went crazy because a young man had an opinion about who he felt like was his GOAT. Not who y'all felt like was y'all GOAT. No, who he said was the GOAT to him. So a bunch of grown men had an opinion about him having an opinion about who he thought was his GOAT. The weirdest time ever. Anyway, but ever since the man said it was Paul George, people have been kind of wondering, you know, what it would be like if Paul George and Brandon Miller were in the same room, or if they had a conversation, or did they talk, and things of this nature. And so when this interview was being promoted this weekend, everybody was hella excited, unless you just a hater, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was hella excited about, the upcoming podcast to get some insight into Brandon Miller and get some insight into what Paul George thinks about Brandon Miller, you know what I'm saying? And it's almost like meeting your doppelganger. Like, even though the picture is kind of weird, they look mad alike. But the interview brought a lot of things to the light. It shed a lot of light on a lot of things. One of the things being that Brandon Miller is not the type of guy that is focused on individual goals. One of the gems that Paul George had to give B Miller was, hey, bro, you got to set personal goals. Even though I know you want to see the team win a championship, you got to set goals for yourself, personal goals for yourself, because this isn't college anymore. This is the NBA. And you're not just playing 32 games, you're playing 82 games. You know what I'm saying? That you can get burnt out. So shout out to Paul George for being a mentor and dropping some game on the young brother. But it's a very, very dope interview. I would suggest that you go check it out. I would suggest that you go, support the podcast and show some love in the comment section as well. But more importantly than that, I don't want to talk about the entire interview. I want to talk about one particular segment in the interview. When Brandon Miller is asked about Lamelo Ball, the actor that is a part of the podcast, and I forget Kai's name. My bad, Kai's, if you see this video, but I don't know Kai's name. But dude from ATL, he asked, well, what was it like hearing from one of my favorite point guards in the game, if not my favorite point guard in the game, Lamelo Ball, because I heard that he hit you up as soon as you got drafted. And Brandon Miller kind of let some information out that we normally don't get a chance to hear out of Charlotte because they're so tight to the vest. You know what I'm saying? And he says, well, yeah, LaMelo was texting me the entire draft day. And he just kept texting me saying, you are a Charlotte Hornet. You are a Charlotte Hornet. And Brandon Miller was like, because he a kid, he a young man. He listening to the media, people telling him this, people telling him that. Every time he look on ESPN, everybody scoot. Every analyst and everybody talking about how bad he sucked and how good Scoot is. You know what I'm saying? So to him, he like, okay, well, Melo, you saying this, but like everybody else saying, Scoot. He says that. So, but Melo kept saying you are a Charlotte Hornet. I told y'all what I told y'all on Spaces. If you're not following me on Twitter, if you're not following the LitHoUsE on Twitter, you're missing a lot of Spaces. And if you're not in the Discord community, you straight tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where everything goes down now. The film sessions, the watch parties, everything goes down there. And if you're not a member of the Discord, if you're not a member of the Blue Room, you're wrong. You're wrong. Also, subscribe to this channel because that's step one. Share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel, and show love and donate to the channel. I said it on Spaces a month ago, 2 months ago. I already knew what Camp Lamelo wanted. I already knew what they were telling the Charlotte Hornets. Go check the receipts from the LitHoUsE and the team and say what you heard yesterday did not confirm that. He said that Lamelo already knew he was going to be a Charlotte Hornet. Now, this statement, as you may know, would cause a lot of people in the Hornets media circles, the local media, the Locked In on Bullshit podcast, stuff like that. A lot of those type folks, I knew that interview would be a trigger because it confirmed what we said, one, but also it shows the level of power that Lamelo had in this draft process. It showed that Lamelo was informed before the pick was made. Days, months, who knows? Because Brandon Miller said he was at every workout. He said Lamelo was at every workout, every practice. He said he just didn't practice, which was a bar. Because they was asking him, did you work out with Lamelo? Yeah, he's like, nah, he don't work out with us. Like, Brandon Miller's talking about Lamelo like he is numero uno in Charlotte right now. Like, he is the franchise. So it's very interesting to hear the reaction from the Charlotte media yesterday on Locked In on BS podcast when they was like, oh, well, it seems like Lamelo had some inside intel. I mean, and then because they're so disconnected, they're so wishy-washy, and they have such lack of belief in Lamelo. They were so upset about the power that he has in the locker room. They've already criticized his contract, which he earned. They already criticized the fact that the Hornets didn't take Scoot Henderson. They've already criticized all of these things. Now they're criticizing the fact that Mitch Kupchak obviously informed him that they were going to take Brandon Miller before anybody else. So then they start talking about, well, of course Lamelo wouldn't want Scoot because Scoot's ready to contribute right now, and that's a threat to Lamelo. I mean, local Charlotte Hornets media is an absolute joke, bro. It is an absolute joke and disgrace. The level or the lack of information they provide for their viewers and their listeners, the lack of objectivity on former points, the lack of an ability to break down basketball from a basic level that does not involve numbers that can hide your lack of actual basketball knowledge is disgusting. Look, I like to say it like this. We are in Lamelo's Michael Corleone years in Charlotte. He is the godfather right now. The players that are on the team, you better believe, after paying Lamelo $260 million, up to $263 million potentially, the Charlotte Hornets are consulting with Lamelo on that roster. Doesn't matter if local media thinks it's a good idea. Doesn't matter if they like it. Doesn't matter if they appreciate it. Doesn't matter if they like Lamelo. That's the business of basketball. It's a players-driven league. And Lamelo is the face of the Charlotte Hornets. Get with it or lay down. That's it. Y'all can either get down or lay down. It ain't no Scoot in Charlotte. It's Lamelo Le France Ball. Now, y'all comment in the comment section below. Let me know. Do y'all think the Charlotte Hornets did the right thing? Or do you think they should have drafted Scoot? Do y'all think that's too much power for one man to have to already know who they're going to pick, to have a voice on the pick? Or Are they doing right by the franchise guy? Let me know. Share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join the Discord community. It's the mighty, mighty Lit One.